I
Watch.
have my YouTube on the other side, my YouTube page on the other side. There's going to be a lag between them.
No worries. I got the notification. Okay, I think you're live there, buddy.
I have my YouTube on the other side. Okay, so there it is. It's live, but there's a lag between them. So I muted the YouTube side, so our conversation's in real time.
So are you good? I don't hear anything besides our conversation.
No, we're good. We can just go.
Right on. Let's talk it. Let's talk winter fishing. We talking winter fishing? How you doing? You catching fish?
I'm catching. Well, it's kind of hard, really. So kind of my wintertime bass fishing is kind of slow. So I've been working on really upping my jerkbait game, which is what I got my PB on, which is, standard Smithwick Rogue, the old standard. But I've been working on trying to get into bigger swim baits because I think here in Oklahoma, no one really throws those. I haven't met really a single guy in Oklahoma who, throws an 8-inch Hud or, a big River to Sea S-Waver, which is kind of much a fan. What I got tied on right now.
Right on.
So I just have this on my flipping stick, really. But that's kind of what I'm trying to branch out, especially Alabama rigs. That's the big one.
Alabama rigs for sure. Oklahoma people love their Alabama rigs. I know one thing. What's that big lake? Grand Lake.
That's my main lake. That's where I fish.
Grand Lake absolutely crushes with an Alabama rig. I've had a lot of buddies that would go down there and fish tournaments and just there'd be 30-pound bags and it's just ridiculous. But yeah, big swim baits. I'm sure there's a lot of people throwing them that you don't even know about. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, anytime you're throwing that, you're going to be the 1%. And that's why for me, it's like I actually want to do the same thing. I want to get out there and try this summer, early spring to do summer, is just chuck and wind and just know that I'm probably not going to catch any fish. But if I do catch one, it'll be a good one. The advantage for me, though, is because we have pike and muskie up here. So it's like,
oh, that just destroy them.
Oh, yeah. So it's like even if I don't catch a bass, like there's still a chance that I'll catch a big old toothy critter. And I'm not going to complain about that.
No, I feel you. But actually, it's kind of funny. So as I progressed, like I got serious about bass fishing 2 years ago. You look at the camera. I'm looking at you on the thing. But as I've been looking
everywhere.
But as I've got more serious into bass fishing, I really wanted to go down there, but I always go with my dad. That's who I usually boat with when we go out, go on the Grand or anything else. But it kind of went into the wintertime. It's just hard, really, when it's all about just getting that patience of, oh, you might get one bite today, and that'll be it.
Yep.
I'm trying to pattern them out, but most of the time now I crappie fish in the wintertime.
Yeah.
So, we have our holes on Grand, but we can just go in there, catch our limit before, right at sun up, and the guides are behind us, strafing us, trying to get to the spots. And at that point, we're just throwing them back. But now I'm working on really catching that winter monster. That's the goal, really. What about you? What have you been catching them on?
I haven't been catching anything. That's what I've been catching. I've been waiting for ice fishing, which I think at this point in time, right now, we're to the point where we will start to have some good, safe ice. I don't really know much about ice fishing. Actually, last year was my first year ice fishing, and I caught a bunch of fish this big. But this year I have high hopes. The problem is just it's taken so long to get the ice. So I'm going to have a short season, and I'm going to hope that I can catch maybe my first bass under the ice. I didn't ever do that last year. Definitely want to catch some big jumbo perch and crappie if at all possible. And then I would like to get a tip up out there and catch me a pike. But honestly, that's a lot of goals for what's going to end up being probably, not very many trips out there. The other thing I've tried doing is steelhead fishing, and keyword there is tried, because I have not caught one yet, man. Those things are big, but they are lethargic and they're not easy to catch. So for me, it's just like it's a whole new learning curve, man. I don't know if you have any experience with that, but they're different.
Aren't steelheads? They're a different type. Aren't they an inland migratory species? They don't come from the ocean, right?
So like a real steelhead would be in the Pac Northwest, Oregon, Washington, whatever, where it's ocean run. It goes up the river to spawn.
Okay.
Here in Michigan and New York and some of the other states that have a Great Lake, there it's basically a lake run rainbow trout that comes back and they get big. I don't know if they're actually also like, you know, breeding these things and stocking them. I don't know exactly what the DNR does, but I know that just because we have the Great Lakes, that's the big piece there, the piece of the puzzle.
And you're based out of Michigan, right?
Yes, sir.
Man, it's kind of wild to me that y'all don't have safe ice yet.
Yeah, I'm in the southern part.
I follow a bunch of guys, like, you know, a bunch of guys up north, and they're on the Great Lakes fishing. So I don't know if it's just where you're at, but yeah, I see people ice fishing up there, and that's something, you know, some guy from the south is like, "What? you guys are on ice fishing?"
Absolutely. Well, actually, there are people a couple hours north of me that are ice fishing, but I just haven't got the chance to go up there, quite honestly. So I haven't done it. But I don't know. Right now, I'm just kind of scramble brained as far as what I want to chase, because I want to, on one hand, go out there and catch a big trout that I've never had an experience with. On the other hand, it's like I could go allocate, you know, 4 hours of my day just to driving and then squeeze in 4 hours of fishing. And it's just kind of like, I don't know. It's all prioritization. It's like we're all really busy. I mean, the viewers are busy. We're busy. And so it's kind of hard to, you know, keep after them. So I'm just kind of waiting for the ice to come to me. And I think, like I said, you know, a couple, you know, 20 minutes north of me is starting to get safe ice. So I'm thinking this weekend, if I get to squeeze, you know, 30 minutes and 40 minutes in, I could even just hop on the ice and just drill a couple holes and see if I can catch something. But likelihood is I'll be on the ice very soon, and then hopefully get a good video and catch some mondos. But, you know, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's, you know, that's something, like, I see more and more of it now. Like, maybe before I'd be like ice fishing, I wouldn't even think about walking on ice. Like, I know it's, what, isn't it 6 inches safe ice?
Oh, that's plenty safe. 2 inches is technically like the thinnest that's safe. You're good. I'm personally not going to go on no 2 inches because I'm a 6'6". I'm not like giant, but I mean, I'm a man. Like, I don't want to fall through the death, man. I don't want to deal with that. So I wait until I see other people out there that are bigger than me, and I call it good. And then I've got like a spud bar, with essentially just a big heavy pole that you just smash the ice with. And if it goes straight through, you're probably screwed. But if you hit it a couple times and the water starts to slow breach, you're good. So I'm taking all the necessary safety precautions. It's just a matter of like, yeah, I'm from Kansas. Like, I never ice fished until I got here. It was very weird and foreign to me, but it's super neat. And I mean, yeah, you got to go shiver a little bit if you don't have all the proper equipment, but it's kind of a cool experience. I want to have all the proper equipment, but I have to point out the fact that it's expensive as heck.
Yeah.
You know, you want to get
like shanty ice huts as buku dollars, because like I've been looking at them and I was like, geez, that's a lot to sit there and just shiver.
The shanty is like, you know, you can get one for like $300, but if you want to get like a legit one, obviously at $400, $500. Like a gas-powered auger, I mean, $400, $500. You know, the list goes on and on. Vexlar, $500, $600. I mean, it's ridiculous. All of a sudden, you're in it for $2,000, and I mean, I don't even know if I'm going to live in Michigan a year from now. I mean, likelihood is yes, but shoot, I'd have no idea what the future entails. It's kind of hard to justify that spend.
Yeah, especially like with that ice fishing, like, I don't know if you can even go out there. Like, I watched your ice fishing video where you caught fish, but also
they're tiny.
XLRs, they're almost like they're pretty much a must-have. I wouldn't say they're a must-have, but man, they make it so much easier to do if you don't know have a contour map or anything.
They are definitely a must-have if you're a serious ice fisherman. They're not a must-have if you just want to go out there and ice fish. Granted, it's all a matter of what you want to do. I mean, do you want to go out and waste your time, or do you want to go out there and actually bring home some fish? I'm just going out to have fun. And so that's why last year, like, whatever. This year, I've been considering it. It's just I haven't felt the sense of urgency because there hasn't been much ice. So we'll see what happens. The reality is what I'd like to do is get a fish finder that can double as ice fishing and kayak fishing. The problem is there's only a few of those out there, and the ones that are out there don't have maps feature, which like so you couldn't see like the topographical map from like above. To me, I feel that that's absurd.
That's kind of useless at that point.
Well, I feel like that's a much needed feature for a kayak, but it's not necessarily needed too much for ice fishing because like a Vexlar doesn't have any. That's just a flasher. So it's not really needed for ice fishing, but it would be super handy. I mean, I don't understand why they don't have that. I don't know if they're just trying to sell more units. I don't know, whatever.
Well, I know Lowrance, Garmin, and Humminbird are all coming out with stuff really soon. I think February is, they're announcing all their new stuff. So maybe that's one of their new stuff.
Well, maybe you need to go to iCast and see if you can get me one.
Yeah, I wish. I'd like to make it down there. It was one good deals, but I just want to say like all the bunk lures that they have for sale.
Yeah, iCast is pretty cool. I went to it 1 year, and it was several years ago. It's really neat if you just want to network and check out some sweet lures. For me, like some of the most fun was just looking at like the saltwater stuff because it was just so weird to me, and I had no idea what I was looking at, but it was just cool looking. So
I love waiting for the worst in show stuff.
I didn't even realize that's the thing.
It's like it's like more like online opinions is what it is.
Memes.
But I just like people like finding the most absurd thing that they're releasing and just absolutely just roasting the heck out of it.
Yeah, I think that. It's like the Savage Deer Duck and stuff like that.
Literally.
Oh, are bass like honing in on ducks? No, they're not. But it's a cool marketing scheme, and hey, I'm all about it. I think it's cool. So
yeah, like the rats I can get behind, but the ducks not so much.
Yeah.
I've seen lots of bass hit those big wake rats or whatever, those spro rats.
For sure. Okay, so we've kind of covered winter fishing. We've covered some of the things that we want to do. I would say, here's a question for you. What are you looking forward to most this year for your YouTube channel? Because here we are on YouTube. I mean, let's talk YouTube. What are some of your goals for 2019? We're fresh into this year. I watched your video, but I'd like to hear it from you live, man.
All right. So my goals this year is like I want to hit 1,000 subs. So that's just my goal. I feel like that's attainable for a year with how much I am able to post. I want to post more than I was able to last year because between doing my field work all summer, doing school, being a grad student, and just finding that time to release a video every now and then, it just wasn't really conducive to kind of what I'm trying to do being on YouTube. So 1,000 subs, do live streams, network a lot more with other YouTubers and content creators, trying to find maybe there's fishing YouTubers in Oklahoma. I found a couple of them. I've reached out to them. So just trying to get more out of YouTube than I know I can't, than what I'm working at previously, if that makes any sense. But really grow and just bring a lot more diversity to the channel, because most of it's fishing. I uploaded a duck hunting video. That's my newest video I had, but that was like 2-3 weeks ago. And I've been out hunting, just there's no birds where I'm going. But bring a lot more diverse content and really just more content in general. But that's kind of like my views for 2019. But what about you? I know I watched your recap video, but for people who may not be subscribed to you from my side, what are your goals for 2019?
For sure, man. Well, first and foremost, I'd like to say, props to you. I think you're doing a great job. I think you got a good strategy, going into this year and trying to keep an all-encompassing outdoors content page. I think it'll be really interesting to see. And I think that you've got such an interesting, background with what you do, personally, for what you went to school for and what you're about to, get a job with. I think you've got tremendous opportunity to do some really cool stuff, and I think give all of us viewers a lot of value. So I really, really look forward to seeing what all you do this year in 2019. As far as me, it's kind of very much in line with what you want to do. I'd like to expand the community of people that are really we're outdoors people. We're people that are trying to inspire a love for the outdoors. My mission on YouTube is to inspire a love for the outdoors. One thing that I see constantly is this, people are staring at their phone at all times. It's so important to disconnect. It's funny I say that because it's almost like an oxymoron, right? I'm talking on YouTube about getting off the computer, getting off the phone. The reality is we have a voice to share that, in my opinion, is the responsible thing to do. The outdoors is everything to me, and I want to share that love with others. And so if I can do that more, with my channel this year and try to get a little bit more well-rounded in my content, that's really the goal. I don't necessarily know, quantitative numbers as much. It's not as big of a deal to me at this point right now. I just want to keep the ball rolling and make more content. A lot of fishing content and probably even some more just general outdoors hiking and adventure style content. So we'll see what happens. At this point, I'm just having a lot of fun.
Yeah. No, and that's the point. We don't want to make content for we like making content because we like making content, but we're making it with the reason with someone who's not used to the outdoors saying, oh, that was kind of cool. I want to go out there, or I want to get into fishing or hunting, hiking, any sort of things along those lines. But to make it, it's, to inspire that passion. And it's, that's just the whole deal about it. I lost my train of thought. I had something cool I was thinking I was trying to say, but no,
I've
that's
got
the thing.
Story for you. So today I checked my mail, and one of the guys that watches my channel actually had saw a couple of my goofy videos this year where I I took household objects and I tried to turn them into fishing lures. Pretty popular thing to do on YouTube.
Yeah.
Something that I got behind this year and tried a couple of my own. What's funny is he watched these videos and it inspired him to make something as well. And then what he wanted to do is actually send it to me. Sadly, the letter came in and the lure ripped its way.
Oh no!
So fortunately, the funny part is it was made out of a paper clip, a pop can, and some paracord. So it just shows the creativity that's out there among viewers and that sort of thing. And I think that it just also speaks to the volume of how important social media is to spread a message. This might be a goofy little message of you can turn anything into a fishing lure and go have fun and catch fish with it. Unfortunately, it didn't work out this time. He's going to make me another. But I think it just speaks to the fact that we really have an opportunity to get more people outside. And to me, that's so important. I'm a conservationist. You're a conservationist. We want to see our environment protected in years to come. We've got to there's a lot of weird stuff happening in today's world. And for me, the most important thing is let's keep our environment protected and beautiful. It's like my favorite thing in the world is to go outside and watch a sunrise and catch a fish and to drink a cup of coffee. Like those are like the best things in the world to me.
No, I really like I couldn't love that. It's that's where I'm most in my element, where I'm most at peace, at peace is like when I'm out there, I don't hear city sounds or anything else. I'm just out there, I'm just fishing, I'm just doing my thing, but I just got a camera rolling. That's the only thing I got going. It's just me fishing, and secondary, I just have a camera rolling. What happens, but both of us, we're 9 to 5, guys. We both have jobs. I got a job, plus on top being creative. You have a full-time job. That's the thing about making the time to go and do those outdoors activities, and looking at what's around you. Because I got some of the coolest hiking really in Oklahoma, an hour southwest of me.
Yeah.
And it's a national wildlife refuge, so some of it's closed because of shutdown. But it's if you just want to get out and see Oklahoma for like all its glory, it's not that far away. Oklahoma, like if you want to see like natural Oklahoma, it's not far away. That's the beauty about this state and these cities, that they're not big. You just go out there and you're out of town. Really, I mean, you're from Manhattan, Kansas, so I know it does.
Oh, you're broadcasting that to the world.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But like some privacy here.
Like you went to K-State, so I mean, I've been there. I've been to Manhattan. So
it's the best town in the world. Absolutely.
No, I enjoyed it, but I loved like where you can just go out of town and you just.
Oh, that's why I learned a love for the outdoors, man. Is, one, I would say a lot of my love for the outdoors came from my, some of my family. A lot of them are farmers background. That's where both my parents come from, a farming background. And so I think anytime I would go out to the farms where, maybe it's my grandparents or whatever, I would just adventure. And I'd go out, maybe I would fish the pond, or maybe I would just walk around and kind of hike around. I tried hunting a few times. I really, really discovered a love for the outdoors. And I think, what you just mentioned is something about some of this stuff down an hour south of you. To me, I think that'd be such a cool idea for video. If, I'm gonna challenge you right now and, take it or leave it. But I think it'd be really cool to see you do, 3 reasons why you need to hike this trail, or something like a video like that, and just really tell the story of, hey guys, like this is really important. This is just an hour south of you, Norman, Oklahoma, or whoever you're talking to in that video, and really make it directed on that one thing and just showcase that. I think one, people are going to gravitate towards that because I think it'll be relatable to them because it's in their area. And then 2, you're going to at least be able to showcase the beauty to other people that aren't in Oklahoma. So I would definitely like to see it. But if you get a chance, I know that a lot of life is changing for you right now. So
I'm busy, writing a thesis this semester. But you know what? I gave myself Fridays and weekends off. Like that's my outdoors time. That's my fishing time. That's my exploring time. I'm dedicating time for that. And so like that's what I made sure before like going into finishing up, is that I definitely made time to do all that. And no, that's a great suggestion for ideas, and I'd like to see it when it's open right now, but no, it's not at the moment.
I think there's no shortage of ideas, but like you mentioned, 9-to-5 jobs, or working full time, or writing a thesis. Unfortunately, you can have 100 ideas, but you only have a few hours time. So that's just the way it goes. I mean, that's the same people that are watching our videos, though. I mean, they've only got a couple hours time, and they're going to allocate them to watching some of our videos. I think that's just fantastic. And obviously I think we both appreciate that. So for those of you that are watching right now and, watching at a later date, we obviously appreciate your time. And, I know that we're all kind of on the same page as far as how much we all love the outdoors and how much we want to see future generations gain that level of respect as well.
No, definitely. And it's one thing, like I watched your hiking videos and I really enjoyed them, because I just think they were just pure in essence. It's just, you were promoting them, like you promoted your message, I think the best you absolutely possibly could. And when you're in that hiking video, that short hiking video you made, I think that's probably one of my favorite videos of yours, is that short hiking video that you made. I think it's just
the 3 reasons to go outside.
What
was the 3 reasons to go outside? Is that one?
I think it was that one.
Yeah, I actually really like that video too. It didn't get a ton of views, but I don't really care. Like I knew I wanted to put it out there for the world to see. I absolutely agree. I think if you can get creative about it and tell a story behind it, the hiking videos can be a big deal. I've had a hard time kind of thinking through how I'm going to do that, but that was one example. So yeah.
I wanted to make a vlog this summer because me and my buddies went to Colorado and we hiked a 14er out there,
which is awesome.
So it was crazy. It was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. But I want to make a vlog series out of it. But, I just didn't like, well, I ended up not using the camera, and I just ended up, just being there in the moment. And so I just scrounged whatever clips I did have of it, threw together a short video on it. But it's one of my favorite ones because it just showed like, us being in our element. Really, it's it's a simple video, but it's the simple things. You don't gotta just plan every shot. You don't have to, set up your camera 50 yards away just so you to walk through it. I just pulled up. I just popped out my GoPro, did one of these numbers, and that was it.
Yeah, well, I remember watching that video as well. It's just like the B-roll shots of Colorado. Thought that was really cool. One, because I love Colorado. It's such a beautiful state. And two, I mean, 14, hiking that 14, that's awesome, man. That's something to be proud of. And it's like your body was probably, tired after that, and you probably got to. My favorite times to eat a big burger is like post monster hike.
Oh yeah.
I used to live in California, and I would do a lot of just like regional trails. And I was only there for a year, but a lot of regional trails in the East Bay. And I would go out there and I'd be on like a 6-8 mile hike. And by the time I was done, I was just sweating. I felt so tired. And I would go get an In-N-Out burger and just like crush it.
No, yeah, that's kind of what we did is, well, we all like some of it, like we had a group of 6 of us. So 3 of us, 3 of the guys didn't summit, but 3 other guys, we went and summited. But because everybody staying in groups together, didn't want to hike down all together. But it was funny. So our 14er was 14,005 feet. They're like, oh, that'd be easy one to do. It's 14,005, but we didn't look at the difficulty rating of the trail. So yeah, it might have been 14,005 feet, but it was the hardest I've ever climbed.
So it was much higher elevation. Or it was like steeper inclines on the trails.
Steep inclines, big rock gardens. It was,
that's awesome.
But I had me a Coors Light at the top because we were in Colorado. Had to stop by there and honor it a little bit. But no, we're already planning our next trip.
That's awesome, man. Those are the kind of trips that it's like. I think that's the funny thing with YouTube, though, and I think more people will start to understand it over time. And I know we're talking about a lot of random stuff right here, but we'll get past this real quick, and then we'll move on to the next subject. But I think this is what's interesting. You mentioned that you wanted to be in the moment, and there's so many times where I personally have self-reflected and said, like I'm putting pressure on making content when the reality is I'm out there doing what I love. So that's when I noticed that about myself, and I just I'll either turn off the camera for a while or I'll just relax and just not care. Because quite honestly, it's like we live in this weird socially online connected thing where it's like, oh, it's all about the piece of content. No, it's not. Taking it and living in the moment and then not worrying so much about those little things is absolutely what you should do. And I think that's props to you for doing that. We've been on the phone for about 28 minutes here. What other topics? We've talked about a lot. Is there other topics that you wanted to discuss? This is your deal. So I didn't know if there's anything that we have missed on yet.
I think we've been off topic really kind of at all. We talked about, our messages, winter fishing, we talked about content creation, but, we're an online channel. We're outdoorsmen. And that's what we do. So everything we do involves what is it? We all involve the outdoors no matter kind of what aspect of it. So let's just talk about, just shooting questions at each other. So I'm going to start with, okay, what is your bucket list fish to catch? If you could go catch one fish tomorrow, what would be your bucket list fish to catch?
It's going to be so hard to narrow it down to one because I've got so many I want to catch and I've named as bucket list fish. I've always wanted a peacock bass, but I'm between a peacock bass and a bonefish on the fly. I'm not a fly fisherman, but my gosh, does that look amazing. I think I'm going to go with the peacock bass, though, solely because it's in the Amazon River. And that is the one place in the world that I want to see, especially before it continues to get, unfortunately, torn apart from deforestation. But that'd be mine. What about you?
I'm not gonna lie, it's the exact same thing. It's like I want to see those massive blow ups, but also just the remoteness of the whole thing is.
One thing that I've always wanted to see in the wild is an anaconda, and like I don't want to see it up close, have the thing freaking bite me or wrap me, kill me, but I do want to see one in the wild. I just think that would be such a magnificent thing to see. So that's cool. We're on the same page. Sorry, I cut you off there.
No. Like that's totally my, like up my alley. I mean, like I like reptiles and all, but I'd rather see them over there rather than over there.
Parker, look at that shit. Okay.
No, that's like, hey, that's cool over there. That's what I'm really big on. But let's see. So we talked about our goals, winter fishing, everything. Let's see. Do you have any questions for me? I think we've just been.
What is your
really?
Number one confidence fishing lure? What is it? Let's go. Shoot.
Bandit 200 spatterback.
Bandit. That's awesome. I used to love that crankbait. I just don't throw crankbaits anymore. That Bandit 200 kick butt, and I love that spot. Is that's like the white side with the sharp, like the yellow and the black, like on the back? Is that the one?
I think I actually have one right here. I have the negative box.
First off, shout out to Northern Michigan angler. I didn't mean to. Okay, he just texted me, Adrian, my buddy, and he said you sweared on live. I didn't mean to. I don't swear on. My apologies, everyone, for seeing that.
I'm afraid I haven't already. Just knowing me. The crappie. What's your PB crappie? While I dig one of these out.
PB crappie, me?
Yeah.
Honestly, I haven't caught monster crappie. I've caught a lot in the 12 to 13 inch range. I don't know that I've caught anything outstandingly big. I had a friend catch a 16-incher when I was with him, but I really just caught some good quality ones. Kansas, we've got some giants there. I just haven't done it enough, I guess. What about you? You probably caught a giant.
I think my biggest one was like 1.2 pounds, something.
Yeah.
But it was like 17, 18-incher or something. But it's we get some good ones. But yeah, here's that spatterback.
That's the one. The black back, the white sides. That's money.
This is my juice. This is what I throw literally all the time. It's my go-to. I think I've caught my personal best striper on it as well.
Dang, that had to be bass equipment. Big old striper comes up and slams that little crankbait. Do you throw the biffle bug at all? I mean, like, shoot, you're an Oklahoma boy. You got to be admiring Tommy Biffle and throwing that biffle bug. I know that thing would probably crush in your area.
Oh, you know it. I mean, that's I fished a tournament on Texoma last fall, and that's what I got all my bites on. I was just Carolina rigging a biffle bug. So that's my go-to. Like now, like especially in the winter. I mean, I always have a Carolina rig with a fluke, or I tear all the limbs off the biffle bug, make it just look like a shad.
What? Really? Huh? I never thought about that little trick.
But no,
I hardly thrown the biffle bug at all. I just knew it would work in that area.
Oh no, they're good. Like they're awesome. I know Tommy Biffle can't fish tournaments at Fort Gibson anymore.
Well, I've got a bunch of friends that crush them on it. I just never honestly taken the time or whatever. It's like I'm to the point now where I'm so stubborn with what I fish because I've got so much gear like that I've accumulated over the years, and I just don't feel like buying new stuff. The stuff I'm buying is stuff that is a different technique. So it's like steelhead fishing or ultralight fishing or whatever. I'm not buying a lot of bass gear.
Yeah,
I don't want to spend money on it.
Me too. What was it? Crappie Killer said caught a 7.8 pound bass on a crappie 2 weeks ago. Dude, that's awesome.
Wait, on a crappie? Like, did you catch the crappie and then have a bass eat the crappie, or did you like hook the crappie?
Oh yeah, or you live bait fishing?
Because I'm curious. I can't see the chat. I don't know. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. I'm not a whiz here. Oh, I'm not on YouTube. I'm just on Google Hangouts.
Yeah. If you go, click the link on YouTube, you can probably see the live, like the stream. I have you on one screen like that, that on the other.
Well, it's like, man, we're 34 minutes in. At this point, it's a lost cause.
Yeah, might as well just go for it. It said LOO 2-inch crappie, 2-inch crappie bait.
Oh,
So even one live bait. It was was it jigging or something? Crappie bait, huh? But
so,
no.
And how many people do you have watching these? I can't see that.
4.
4 people.
4 people.
What's up, 4 people? What's going on? Nedrig says hello as well. This is Green Pumpkin Goby. You already know that this thing crushes.
I've been killing copper truce.
Say what? Copper truce?
Copper truce. That's been my color lately.
Copper truce is the juice. Green Pumpkin Goby is absolutely the best color in the world, but Copper Truce is up there, probably top 3 for me.
Is that a Z-Man color?
Big time guy. Big time Z-Man guy.
Where did my box go?
Essentially, it's got purple and gold flake in it, and it's green pumpkin. It's absolutely fire.
Oh, I gotta get some of those. But now, I think they're calling their new deal. Was it Hot Snakes? Is the new color they're raving about?
That's your Hot Snakes, bro.
I've been killing it on these Z-Man stuff. I've been really killing it on these. I think these are Tommy Biffle, or Jean LaRue.
Sweet.
Worms, but yeah, I think they're just their inchworm. That's what they're called.
Thing looks like a money drop shop bait.
Oh no, yeah. Actually, didn't even think about it until you just said that. So I'm going to be trying that.
Yeah, just a little nose hook. Throw it on that light line, man. The clear water, you're gonna crush them. That thing looks real beautiful.
All right. So, what's your pond hopping setup? What do you take when you go out fishing? If you're bank fishing?
Ned rig, and a Ned rig. No, I honestly, if I go pond hopping, I'm probably gonna have 2 rods, maybe 3, but I'll just leave one in the car, just depending on what the pond has. If the pond has a lot of vegetation, Texas rigs and maybe some weightless Senkos, that sort of thing. If it doesn't have as much vegetation, the Ned rig tends to be kind of it's just I love throwing it. It always catches fish. You might catch a multi-species, you might catch a walleye, you might catch a crappie. So that's kind of nice. And for me, it's I'm just going out there trying to catch fish. So it's probably kind of what I would target. I don't know about you. You probably fish in some of these Oklahoma ponds where they're shallow, muddy, and they got giants in them.
No farm ponds for me. I mainly fish a lot of the area ponds around Norman, but all of them you could just walk through, and they have so much. Oh, they don't have grass in them; they have algae in them.
Oh yeah.
It's just you can throw a Texas rig in there, but you're still gonna have 2 pounds of algae on what you get.
Weightless fluke.
Weightless fluke. So that's something I haven't really done. Was throw a weightless fluke, weightless Senko. I always Texas rig them or have weights on them, but I've never really done.
If you haven't been throwing weightless Senkos, what have you been doing with your life?
I've been missing out a lot.
You got to throw the weightless Senko. I prescribe you 1 weightless Senko and 2 weightless flukes. Please report back to me your findings by the end of the week.
I'll make a video on it. Weightless fluke versus weightless Senko pond challenge.
Yeah, hey man, sounds kind of fun. Sounds trendy. Ooh, trendsetter. Nice.
But actually, this was kind of fun. I did this in one of my, I think it was my second video that we did. I remember me and this one guy from Alabama or something. We did a contest where we had clocks on our phones running so we could have each other at the same time. But we fished a tournament across, not a tournament, but we fished a contest across state lines. So all right, we're starting at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock your time, and we're gonna fish for an hour, and we're gonna be on the honor system for what we catch.
Yeah. Well, that's honestly, I'm gonna give the people that are watching a little sneak peek here. If you happen to subscribe to my channel and happen to have watched a video where I did like a YouTube kayak fishing tournament against Bo, my buddy on the other side of the state, Kayak Outbreak, he makes videos as well. You saw that I did do like a YouTube fishing tournament. I would like to do more of those this year. So obviously Parker 100% will have to do something, but I think the value in it is the fact that we'll come together and do something as a community, and it doesn't have to be in any one place. So we'll touch base on it, Parker, offline, and maybe we can get something together. But until we have some actual fishing, I unfortunately just can't do it. But exactly kind of what you just talked about, kind of more of a virtual fishing tournament. And
yeah, that's the thing. It's like, it's not hard to message somebody on Instagram or be like, hey, want to fish? Just see what goes on. That's it's not hard. Just hit somebody up and do that. But no, it was a lot of fun. Kind of sad, like his channel. He was kind of gung ho about it, but his channel didn't really. He hasn't like posted much in a long time. Which jobs, I think that's a big thing now. I'm seeing like people I follow just
too.
I think I'm seeing like more people just kind of falling off every now and then. Have you like noticed, big pages you've seen just kind of fall off out of nowhere?
Just like One Rod, but he's back, and I honestly don't really watch videos anyways. He makes videos for like 8-year-olds. But for me, I would say it's very, very common for smaller following YouTube people to get discouraged and to stop. And if you're doing it for a quick buck, or if you're doing it to try to get 100,000 subscribers overnight, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. So that's a message to the people that do quit. But the people that enjoy doing it and love doing it will continue to stick out. And that's why we're gonna be having another one of these conversations a year from now, 2 years from now, whenever that may be. Maybe the next time it'll be on some weird augmented reality, headset. Yeah. The way things are going.
Do you I thought about this. Do you think like when it comes to like outdoors content creators, outdoors YouTubers, anything along those lines, do you think like they gain, like, I don't want to say the game, but you think that genre is becoming saturated? Like you see guys like the Googans, Milliken Fishing, One Rod, and you see all these giant YouTube pages. Do you think they have that market or that genre saturated, so it makes it even harder for other channels to grow?
I don't think so. I think that it's harder for other channels to grow if they try to be like them.
Yeah.
And here's where honestly, I talked to you about this a little bit before we had this conversation. It's hard to stick to one thing and really go after it. For me, I'm just being myself, having fun, and whoever signs up along the way, that's just awesome. Obviously, I'm not going to lie and say that I don't have goals and that I would like to expand my following. Obviously, I do, just like anybody else, because the more people we have following, the more of an impression we can make and an impact we can make on others. But I really think that there's always going to be opportunity as long as you be yourself, be consistent, and be authentic, man. So it's like, to me, it's just 90% of the people out there that are not getting the opportunity, and that includes me, is because they're not being original. They're being very similar to what other people have done. And so I think that we just need to challenge each other and challenge everybody to be yourself out there and not worry so much about what people think, and not try to be like the person that did it the day before. Do something new. So that's.
I knew this was going to happen.
There's definitely way more people on YouTube. So
no, definitely. Like I knew this was going to happen. Like I'm not dogging on the Guggen guys. Like they started just just like how we were. They had a passion, and it skyrocketed. And props to them for making it work. But I knew like when they started releasing like Guggen baits, I knew the day after they did that, it was like everything wrong with Guggen baits, yada yada yada, and it's like Guggen baits video, Guggen, and it's just like you you almost have to jump on that train before everybody else does, because you couldn't make one now and everybody would be like, oh, we already saw that 25 times already.
If that's what, if think about it this way, if you want to gain subscribers or gain a quick audience, absolutely do that. Do the quick hitting trend.
Yeah.
But when you do that, recognize the fact that a month from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, that's what those people signed up for. They didn't sign up for you being you. They signed up for you quick hitting the Guggen baits, and then 3 months from now, when the Guggen baits aren't really that big of a deal anymore, they're not as viral as they were, nobody cares. So spread your message, and the right people will click subscribe. That's my perspective. Obviously, I don't know much about all of this stuff. I'm learning just the same as anybody else. So take that with a grain of salt. Maybe the best thing to do is absolutely the opposite of what I'm saying. But for me, that's not the case.
No, and I agree with you there. And so, but yeah, it's kind of weird, like when I'm following people like on Instagram, and mostly it's teenagers, that's usually the demographic that I see more. Not to stereotype or generalize, but it's just the one I see more. It's like the people wanting to be the next Guggen the next day. It's like, oh hey, they go super hard, acting like Gary Vaynerchuk for a week, and then boom, they just kind of fall off. They just get discouraged, and you never see them anymore. And so people just try to make those quick hits go viral like that, and nothing happens. They get discouraged.
I mean, we all do it, though. We all do it, and it's self-reflection and understanding what's truly important to you. What's important to me is the outdoors, and trying to inspire a love for it, and trying to create a community that of it could be a small knit community of people that all believe the same thing. That's fine. Probably very similar for you as far as what's important to you. But I mean, when I was in high school, I made videos in the YouTube yesteryears, and I ended up deleting a bunch of them and just kind of giving up, because I was more discouraged and I was worried about what people would think. But I also, I've definitely had those times in my life where I just wanted a quick overnight success, just the same as a lot of people. And so I'm not going to blame, I'm not going to, people that are teenagers, I think that's very common. There's no issues with it. They're going to learn just the same as we all do. And I'm 25 and I've still got a ton of stuff to learn too. So it's just one of those deals, man.
No, the grind never stops. But
cool, man. Well, I tell you what, we've been talking for a good hot minute here, and I have absolutely enjoyed it. What I think I would like to do is maybe do another one of these someday, and we can definitely do it on my channel if you want, as I get more of a strategy for live streaming. I don't really know exactly what I want to do yet, but for now, I really appreciate you having me on, Parker. It's been a lot of fun, and it's been nice getting.
No, thank you for coming on. I really enjoyed it. And thank you for spreading your knowledge, especially when it comes to YouTube. And I think it's healthy to spread all the different opinions, and everybody can learn something from everyone else.
Yeah, man. Well, Adrian texted me again. I don't know why I'm letting him distract me. Adrian, don't text me while I'm live streaming. I'm putting my phone away. Disconnect. Thanks again, man. We'll everybody that is watching or is watching at a future date, Parker's doing a great job here, so thank you so much for following him. If you get a chance and want to check out some of my videos, my name's Online Outdoorsman on YouTube, so you can check those out. But otherwise, I guess we'll check you next time. I'm going to go ahead and exit out of this thing, Parker. Check you later.
See you, man. Thank you so much.
Yep.
So he exited off, but I really want to say thank you to Online Outdoorsman. Thank you so much for coming on. And everybody who's watching, please go check out Ethan's channel. It is so much fun. I love watching him. He's just a breath of fresh air when it comes to watching online videos. I highly recommend. I check. I left in the description. But thank you all for coming to my first live. Gonna hopefully more people out there, and more one-on-one talks. But thank you all so much. And Northern Michigan again, thank you for subbing. crappie killer. Yeah, man, I'll bring you on. Let's do it. But no, thank you all so much for this live stream. I'll catch you all later in the next video.